I've decided to try to leave some testimony about what has been done to me. I don't know if um, I can be heard and understood. Someone will have to get back to me about whether it was audible. I'm a deaf person. I don't know very much about this kind of technology. But what has happened and what has been done to me is that I have been extremely brutally tortured over a lifetime by what appears to be an organization originating with the current executive of the United States government. It's clear from what they have done that we're dealing with the criminally insane. One of the things that I know about the situation with respect to what has been done to me is that one of the monsters was a lead singer for a band called Genesis. Peter Gabriel operates out of places like NASA. He has immense popularity also. But there's no question that he is a ripper-hatter. There's no question that his syndicate still thinks they have something to sell, even after murdering 4 more of the Kennedy family. Even after being found out as covering for the authorship of the AIDS attack, and now what we are living through with COVID. They have been telling a story. They have been telling the story at my expense. I'm supposed to accept that they have conveyed an understanding that because of a script they planted on me when they tortured me, knocked me out, and held me hostage as a child, that I am to blame for something that may not have even happened. Something the Pentagon, Disney, and Hollywood trickery have called into question as having ever really happened. And that being the mysterious death of John Lennon, the disappearance of John Lennon, with which I had nothing whatsoever to do. They have been like children telling fish stories about what they caught. They make things up. They lie. One of the things that happened to me that led me to a 2-year ordeal of homelessness was the outrageous situation at Kelly Black Elementary School, where a hired driver, a stunt driver, working with a friend of Meg No Wen, of Friends, and I believe Star Trek, who, by the way, had a guest star that was the attorney Melvin Belly for Herman Goring's widow and Jack Ruby, raced around a van around these boarding school buses. I was an indignant, outraged passenger in the van. I became so disoriented by this that I became homeless for 2 years. Now, my father was chair of philosophy of the University of Pittsburgh. I'm a distinguished person. I myself, in some ways, despite being deaf, won the honors poetry contest at the Community College of Allegheny County. In high school, I won the Pennsylvania Governor's School Scholarship for my poetry. And yet, despite this, these murderers, in cold blood, made up a story preying on a impacted neuroplasm, a nerve agent that the Watt makers came up with Cyril Wecht, that they impacted into my facial nerve so that I wouldn't understand what was happening when I was knocked out as a child, so that I would be in trauma and terror, hiding from them, trying to get away, screaming for help, silently unable to speak, my brain, my soul frozen shut. They made up a story about me. They lied. just as they lied about what happened at Kelly Elementary School. And they set me up with an intact prostitute named Rosa, who came on to me as though she wanted to be married, when her real intention was to target the impacted neuroplasm and make me out to be some sort of bad boyfriend. And then, through the mystery of psychology and strategic psychology, they said, argue for us to give your wife back to you, and extruded, forced out, years and years and years of involuntary work and testimony. They stole my art. They raped the girl who taught me sign language, who herself is deaf and legally a child. All while they did this, they conveyed and communicated to me that I should cease to exist because of Yoko Ono's hatred for me. Where did that come from? I was apparently born to it as a condition. My mother used to flash me with a bright light when I was a child. I was apparently born to it as a condition from the agency of Melvin Belly and those who murdered John Kennedy, just as they murdered 4 more Kennedys shortly after I began talking. 2 of them after the Kennedys tried to get through to me, and I tried to get through to them. These murderers have tortured me, and I'm a person, I'm a man. It's not easy for me to talk about this, but for no reason, without trial, only conjuring rumors and lies with their fish stories through the bizarre mysterianism of Tony Levin, a bass player for King Crimson. They chemically castrated me. I was a young man when they did this. They did this in cold blood, for no reason, making things up without trial, and they continue to stalk me. They have been online every single day, lying to my face, claiming that they had something still to sell about me, while stealing every single word that I have ever written. Their attorney, Amanda Harcourt, has friends and ghouls from Warhol who have bragged and laughed openly about murdering Circe Kennedy. I don't know how they get away with doing this. I don't know why they would want to. But I do know that they are going to continue to do it, and that no one has ever even bothered trying to challenge them. I don't understand how this could be. Supposedly we live in a society of laws. Supposedly we live in a society of people who are concerned, who stand up for one another. I don't want to consult notes because I've written all of this off the top of my head, but I don't want to have to do this again. They wouldn't have scripted what they scripted if they weren't going to have an involuntary subject. All of the evidence and all that I have conveyed shows that they tortured me as a child. I was truly, truly terrified. I was innocent of wrongdoing, which they hated. And the singer's inducements to use drugs was called upon to his people, the people who would scream and sing along with him and take drugs and sell drugs and do the terrible things that they were willing to do in the name of human trafficking. They used this sympathy for the singer's inducement to take drugs to totally bypass the fact that I was attacked from behind. It was like being shot. That I was just a child pleading for help. that I was tortured.